the Park Place Hotel and Suites. I'm Rachel Cohen, and I will be your hostess for this evening. My fellow cousin, Jill Hirsch. Okay, we're walking down the hall now, where we soon be entering the room, where we shall celebrate this grand day.
Hi, girls. This is Rachel.
That is Rachel?
Yeah.
God, I got old since I saw you last.
Lynn's daughter, Jill.
That's Jill. Is anybody else here?
Growing out of her eye.
I thought it was growing out of it. It was a funny ear. You got a daughter that old? That's so. Do you go around singing?
Here's the birthday girl.
You gotta say hi to the camera, Grandma.
Say hello. This is all being taped. We're going to put it on TV later. The Miami television station asked us to make a record of this because we're putting it on in the left.
Her name is Lynn.
We got cameras all over the place. This is one
Remember, you with the drink.
This is many of the family members.
I'm going to throw this away. Put it on my cup.
And Beth.
Heather, say hello to the camera.
Marion's granddaughter. Just granddaughter.
This is Susan's oldest, right? Is your mommy Susan? Yeah. And this is Michelle. I am my own.
These are Mark's grandchildren. Hi.
What's your name? You have a name. You have a name. What is it? What's your name? Jared. Jared, you're big. I saw you when you were big. Want to say hello? The camera?
Hi. Okay, we come over here to many of the Cohens. There's Tony and Adam Cohen, Norman's sons, and my brothers, and Jeffrey and Bruce and Norman, and many people in the background.
Is it recording?
Who knows?
Does it say record?
Yeah.
Now we're going to switch cameramen so that Rachel gets a chance.
Okay. Turn off the camera.
It's here. Does it say
press
REC?
play. Yeah. Okay, we're recording now.
Okay.
And here's Beth. Ooh, and here's
Say hello to the
Tony.
camera.
Say hello, Tony.
Say hi. This is Adam.
Ah! It's Adam.
Work. Don't do something.
Here's Jeffrey and Amy.
Where's, Amy and Jeffrey?
Down? I thought it would go up a little for me.
No. Okay.
Keep on, Rachel.
Oh.
Dad, you have to talk to the camera.
Oh.
Hello there, camera.
What do you want to say to Grandma?
Yeah.
God, I got to write the lines.
Well, for now.
For now, there are stories that I'm going to tell you later. You just have to pick it up.
Okay, to be continued.
This is Lisa.
Hello. Hi. Okay.
David.
David, say hello.
Hello, I'm David.
Andy.
This is Andy. Hi.
Whoa, you're tall.
You're Rachel.
Yes, we met.
Okay, on our way.
Okay.
Wait.
Oh, it's a little baby.
Mom.
Oh, here's the close-up.
Mom.
That's Ryan.
Ryan.
Sleeping. He won't answer.
Say hi, Ryan. Okay. Oh. Okay. Oh, sorry. Who was that?
Hello.
Hello. Say hi, Ruth.
Hello, Rachel.
She's been taking pictures.
It was challenging. He couldn't sell a business.
You're a wandering
Call again.
photographer.
Built himself a $250 house.
Okay. I think we've seen everyone. Shall we turn off the camera? Jill!
Hi.
Close up. Ooh, okay.
Okay.
Now we'll turn off the... No,
Okay.
turn off and come back later.
Okay.
Press the red button.
Bye.
Birthday celebration, I'm not really, I have been appointed the master of ceremonies. My three brothers got together in my absence, and they thought they were doing me dirt, making me the master of ceremonies.
Instead, they did
But
exactly
what
what
they
you were
don't
hoping.
realize is that it was predestined that my mother and my late father Louis decided some 54 odd years ago that at this occasion, my mother's 80th birthday, and had my father made it that long, that I was going to be the MC, being Mark Cohen, that's MC. And tell you about these three brothers that voted for me. Now, you may have heard the story differently than this, but the truth of the matter, the real truth.
Yeah.
I realized that Mom was celebrating me 80th birthday. And I called Norman, and I called Paul, and I called Aaron, and I said to each of them that Mom was celebrating her 80th birthday. Norman got very excited. He's excitable. And Paul said, well, we can develop something around this. And Aaron said, God, that's a busy time for me. I can't do a thing. And Aaron, he has worked for all of these years, never left his office. And, you know, he said, I gotta work. And then Norman, in all of his enthusiasm, called up Aaron. And, you know, Aaron had told Ruth that I called. And had said, you know, big deal, it's my mother's 80th birthday. And when Norman called, he ran to Ruth, he says, you know, we better do something on that day. I wasn't so excited, you know, it was my mother's birthday. But my brother called me, it's his mother's birthday too. So they decided to do that. Now, I understand that this is a big occasion in your life. You use Aquasol soap now, and we're changing that thing in Washington to the Octagon on your behalf. But we should start this on a more formal basis. Can we have a Hebrew blessing on the meal that we're about to receive from the young man, Jeffrey, with Yarmouth at the end? Do you speak Hebrew? I know one word of Hebrew, but I'm not going to say it next time.
Thank you.
Hit it, man.
If I had some bread.
Oh, that can be taken care of. How about a cracker?
You want to? All right. Can we have something philosophical before the religious?
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz.
Anyone ever tell you you look alike?
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me see. Let's get closer and see the resemblance. So, what do you want to say to Grandma? Anything?
Happy birthday.
Okay, here we are, we're back, and we're going to go around the table. Okay. Jeffrey? Okay, don't look at me.
Yeah, well, I mean, no,
She and I are first.
Wait, I'm going to go around this way, Jeff.
we have this kind of relationship where you are.
Share the camera.
Down south. Forget it. I get it.
Okay, here we are. We're going around. Tell me if I bump into anyone or anything. Jill?
10 years ago.
There you are.
This past June.
Okay. Here we are at the head table. There's Dad and Grandma Marion.
I thought I was supposed to be.
Want a fur coat?
Surely. You want the beer or something?
Okay, here we go. There's Tony and Aaron.
Join up front. Join up front. Talking about later.
Oh, let's go look at the baby.
Push it over school. If you miss so many.
Oh, excuse me.
Brian, look. Hey, look. Brian, look over here. Hi, there you go. Look
Hi,
at the
Brian.
girls. Look at the girls.
Look at him like this.
Say something, Rachel.
Oh, am I on film?
Yeah, you're on film.
Oh, good. Hello. Okay, now you can turn it on.
Say something. Mom.
I'm trying to get this camera loaded and I'm really good with it. I'm not good at seeing it.
You're on film.
So are you?
Trying to get away from the camera. So what's wrong with being on film, Joe?
Nothing.
You got to get in practice. This is probably going to happen in a few months.
There won't be any cable.
Thing is, we're
And then they decided they
Well, you know that I'm going to have my silver wedding anniversary.
this joke again. But it's
No, my silver.
kids
20 years with Shirley, 3 years with Phyllis, 2 years with Ray, that makes 25.
I hope everyone did hear that joke. I wasn't going to joke. We've heard it already a few times.
Now we're here with the kinder. With the kinder. We're here. We're socializing.
Dragon.
gorgeous grandchildren.
Do you want it? Okay, well, in that case, I'll eat. I'll stay here.
Okay.
Amy said that I could just...
Okay, this is one of the Cohen family. This is Uncle Aaron. Oh, Aaron. And Marion.
Wait. I'm gonna get a close up of each one when you say who they are.
That's a good idea.
Start with Aaron. No, start with Amy.
Okay, there's Amy with the red hair. Haha. And
Jeffrey's over there now.
Jeffrey.
And Aaron.
And
And Grandma.
And Grandma, Marion, and Andy's trying to hide.
And Ruth and Andy.
Take a picture of the girls.
Here we're following Jill to see her mother. Say hello.
Hi.
There's the sisters, Beth and
Are you going to
Lynn.
sing? Not yet.
Here's Beth. Here's Lynn. Okay.
Are you having fun? Cousin Brucey.
Oh, and Bruce. Okay.
They don't know.
I've been doing some looking back. And not everybody has any memories of Mom. She was sort of quiet, did whatever Dad told her. And when it was bad, he got the blame somehow. I just can remember her saying to me, "Wait till your father." And I want you to know everything wasn't bad. To this day,
I'm looking around on the floor for that damn stitch. Well, why don't you tell them the story?
Tell us the story,
I
Mom.
remember.
Well, I was knitting a sweater, and I dropped a stitch, and I said, oh, wait a minute, I can't give you your supper right now, I dropped a stitch. Look, now he's on the floor.
He was hungry. He was hungry.
How old was he, like 20 then?
Mom has a tendency to fabricate. It wasn't actually a sweater. Paul was born some 5 years before I was. He's older than I am. And she had a feeling that she would have more children after that. And she started to knit a bedspread for my crib.
Big bedspread.
Awfully big one.
Yeah, real big bedspread.
If you get over to the house where she lives now, in the condo, you'll see she's still got the needles out. Still working diligently on it.
Pound by pound.
Now, Paul, why don't you tell about the sweater that Mom was knitting when you were...
Yeah.
That was a result of Flossie Lachansky.
I never saw you knitting. Yeah, I never saw you knitting. I had forgotten all about the sweater. I'd forgotten about the
Everybody's
sweater.
hearing is impaired.
Mom was knitting me a Kelly green sweater, Eddie Bull sweater, as we were going across the country. And in the car. That's a trip to talk about. Oh, what a trip. Anyhow, it was gorgeous. And if I had been an ape, it would have been perfect. Because when I put it, the body fit, but the sleeves came to here. And she just kept knitting, you know.
The floor of the car.
And then she put it on, and I didn't want to tell her. Well, actually, what happened is that I found a girlfriend with long arms. But our next-door neighbor, Terry Miller, found a way to open it up and re-knit it. So it was very interesting. But she had a different stitch than Mom, so my sleeves were full to here and then tight to here. You know, I can remember, I've been around Mom longer than, there are some people who've been around Mom longer than I have, but so far as the 4 Cohen boys go, I was around for the Spanish Revolution. The Spanish Civil War. The Spanish Civil War, yeah. I was around for Bundles for Britain and for Russian relief. And for, what's the guy that wrote about the Volkswagen? Yeah, Ralph Nader.
Paul Robeson.
Paul Robeson, yeah. Yeah. The Berrigan brothers. That was the big
You should remember.
You should remember that.
The
That
war.
was Vietnam.
And
Marion Anderson singing on the steps.
And I can remember, you know, I saying, Mom, I'm hungry, and she would say, shut up.
Watching.
No, it really wasn't I was hungry. I guess it was that I didn't eat, and she would say that the children in India are starving.
Do you remember?
And you want to know something? I never could figure out what that had to do with me not liking liver.
Your grandmother must have said that. Your mother wouldn't say that.
That the children are...
I bet it was your grandmother. No, your mother would never say
She
it.
said it.
Your grandmother said it.
When it's your turn, you tell your story.
You know, I remember.
You said I wasn't a typical Jewish mother, didn't you?
Yeah. I didn't get a Jewish mother until I was 22 or 21. And then I married her. No, not yet. But, you know, telling stories. I'll tell you a story, not about me, But you know that as the oldest child, I had to take the garbage out. That was my job, to take it out to the curb. And then when Mark got big enough, he took over the responsibilities of taking the garbage out to the curb.
But he wanted to be paid.
No, that's all right. I didn't know. That's a new one I didn't know about.
Oh, yeah.
They owe you money.
And then Norman came along.
And I had Aaron do it.
And it was his turn, but they're only 18 months apart. So he had a short tenure. And then it got to Aaron, and there was no place else for it to go. So one day, Aaron was in Friedland's hardware store, and from the money that he had saved from doing something, he bought a cart to put the garbage cans on. And Mom thought that was very inventive, that he bought a cart, and he came home and he said, Mom, now you're going to be able to take the garbage cans. Norman, your turn.
I just got one quick memory as Paul was talking about all the protest movements and all the causes. I lived in Washington for both the Vietnam War and Poor People's Marches. And my mother used to come down for these events. And at the time, I was practically oblivious to them. But I remember one winter telling some friends that my mother was down and marching for the poor people, and they said, and this is really typical of my mother, I think, they said, oh, it's so cold, you know, she's an older woman, it's so cold. And I said, don't worry, she's wearing her mink coat.
Now, I want you all to know that it's, I think tonight we can truly say that without my mother, none of us would be here tonight. In fact, most of us wouldn't even be. We wouldn't be. I have to say that my mother is a woman who is familiar with Coast Guard and police search procedures. I know that Carol and I were canoeing on Lake Carasalgo in Lakewood quite a long time ago, and we went out when it was still light, and it was, I guess it was July, and it stayed light pretty late, and we misjudged how long it would take to get back, and we had canoed down to the Narrows, almost to Hope Road, and we turned around and headed back, and on the shore of the beach we see a big searchlight sweeping back and forth across the lake. Mother had been concerned that we had that the canoe had tipped over or something and the weeds around, and the fire department was out there. Were getting ready to drag the lake because Mom had called them out. And I understand that Lynn had an experience down here in the what's the big
Glenn and I were here visiting Grandma and Grandpa, and we decided one day to go down to the Everglades. And Grandma knew that we had been having trouble with our car. We told them that we wouldn't be back for dinner, but I guess they didn't hear us. And Grandma got concerned when it got dark, and she called the state police, and she asked if they had found the green Pinto anywhere along the side of the road. And they said, well, she said, where were they going? And instead, her answer was, well, they were going to hunt for alligators. And when we walked in the door, you know, they were relieved to hear, you know, us. But we still have this vision of the state police, you know, combing the swamps for us or something.
Let me tell you a police story. You know, unfortunately, the person who could tell the best stories about Mom isn't here. Dad had a lot of stories.
Well, so did Marion Quinlan.
Yeah, but Marion Quinlan was
a surprise guest.
She's
gonna pop out of the
so some of the stories that I've heard were told by my father. He died.
Mary Quinlan.
Oh no, I'm talking about Luke Cohen. He died.
Who's Mary Quinlan?
Who is she?
Mom will tell you about her.
Mom will tell you. She'll bring you up and introduce you. about Mom was on 2nd Street in Lakewood, and apparently she had improperly parked, or had parked too long, and she came out to the car, and there was a policeman there writing a ticket. This is false. And she went up to him and she says, you know, you can't write a ticket because I'm Marion Cohen and I'm married to Luke Cohen, and he knows Cop Curtis, who was the chief. And the guy started to laugh. And he said, I'm Cop Curtis. And he didn't write the ticket. Is that right? No. So, Herman, you must have a story to tell about Marion.
Only one that I can remember. And this, well, no, two actually. One I remember when I was a very little boy, just started school. And I couldn't say Marion, so I said Miney. So Miney took me across the street, and then I went to school. From school, I came back and waited on the corner until Miney came over and took me back across the street so that I could go back home. And the other story that I remember is that we lived in Red Bank for a while. And there was one night that your mother, your Aunt Mimi, started to tell ghost stories. And you never saw your Aunt Sylvia making recipes and myself. We were the young ones. I don't know whether Tessie got frightened, but they two kept on telling and topping one another with these ghost stories until you had two very frightened children that were all ready to climb under the bed. Those are the stories that I remember about them.
How about your kids? Besides, well, tell us about it, right?
Yeah, you tell us.
Oh, okay.
No.
Used to rip the nose off the statue.
I remember the time when your sons used to climb on top of the refrigerator and take the pies off the top. You remember that?
That was Mark.
I looked, my eyes popped out. She was begging for dinner and they climbed up and got the...
You know, I resented for many years the fact that my mother saddled me with the responsibility of schlepping Mark around with me. And
then he did it to me with my sister.
yeah, that's how I got even with her. One time, this ultimately is a Marion story. I was forced to take Mark with me, and we went to what was then called Speedway Boulevard. And I tied a rope around Mark's ankle, tied it to a tree, and I told him that he couldn't leave.
The median.
In the median, in the middle of the street.
It was not a speed, it was not a heavily traveled.
No.
They say that it wasn't heavily trafficked, but in that time I saw 6 buggies go by.
And one of them had a horse course. And then I went to the Blue Trail,
Which was further north.
Further north behind the Opson's farm, in the Matiticac River, and went swimming. And when I went with my friends, and when I came back, I untied Mark.
Nice, brother.
And led him home.
Mark was 14 at the time.
And I told him that he better not tell Mom or I wouldn't take him with me again. You know, he never told her until I think I was 40 and he was 35. And then he said, you You son of a bitch, I told you I was going to tell her. So she called me up and she says, how come you time like the trees? I said, but that's so long ago. She says, he only just told me now.
That's all that matters.
It's nice to see all parts of the country together.
If anybody else has a story to tell about Mom, it doesn't have to be true. You go right ahead. She'll acknowledge it.
Something I guess I would like to say. I remember a few years, I guess, before Grandpa died, or often Grandpa, I would come down and visit, and you would walk in and out, and you'd be in a rush, and you'd do your thing, and isn't she something? And I think we all think that. And we're really happy to be here to celebrate your 80th.
I remember a big bus that used to sit in a living room or something. I had. There was this. Is that what it was made of clay? It was made of clay. It was made out of molding clay. And every time we'd go over the house when we were kids, we used to rip the nose off. And it always seemed.
Hey, you know, great. And one thing wonderful about sitting next to someone who doesn't hear her as well as she used to.
No, it's that we mumble.
Is that you can tell her whatever the hell you damn please. It doesn't matter what you said out there. Freddie and I met, and I guess I told Marion Cohen stories to Freddie, and told her that she was not Jewish mother type, and Freddie's mom is the standard model for Jewish mother. You know, she's the one, Mom, I'm going to change the light bulb for you, and she said, don't worry, I can sit in the dark. But Freddie had heard all these stories about that Marion Cohen was different. And we came down to Florida before we got married. And we were going to go swimming. It didn't matter what the weather was. And we went over to the pool, and it came down. It was torrential. And it rained for perhaps an hour. And after all these stories about Marion Cohen was not a Jewish mother, in the rain, with a raincoat on, and a hat, and an umbrella, comes this non-Jewish mother with dry clothes for us, and with raincoats and umbrellas. And I sat there, and Freddie looks at me. She says, "I think you're wrong. I think she's a fit." Do you remember that? And I said, "That's nothing. A few years ago, she would have called out the Coast Guard." Because you just get me.
I remember Mom was very interested in Norman and I getting musical lessons. Music lessons. And Norman was considering doing the trombone in the school band, and I was considering the trumpet. And Dad was not very much in favor of this. He didn't really believe that we would use these instruments, or that we were really dedicated to that particular thing, and really was very much opposed to it. And I remember that that was an occasion that Mom didn't agree with Dad and just went ahead and wrote the check. I don't remember if there were any repercussions from that, Mom. Do you remember? Repercussions.
Is that
Remember the pogo sticks, Aaron?
The pogo sticks? Yeah, I remember the pogo sticks.
What?
Pogo sticks? For Aaron and I. We were about 8, 6.
For the exercise.
They were Hopalong Cassidy pogo sticks.
When Paul was talking about the garbage, he reminded me of the time that I wanted to be paid for everything. Bring the dishes to the sink. Take the garbage bill. Scrape the sidewalk. Anything, I would give her an estimate. And she paid. And I came home from school, I think it was Mrs. DeBoe's third grade. Anyway, I came home from school and I said, could I have a peanut butter sandwich? And she said, sure, 80 cents. That was the end of that. I want to drink to the time, 10 years hence, where we come back to celebrate Mom's 90th. And we can talk about some of the causes that she's been in. Her pro-abortion rights that she takes.
Pro-choice. Pro-choice.
Exactly.
Pro-choice and legalization of pot. Here
Grandma.
How about 20 so Louis Scott and Cat wishes they're happy
Well, I've got a funny story.
Keep it clean, her grandchildren.
Rachel Sachs'
Great-grandchildren.
mother, yes, her mother, was 100 years old. She was living in a nursing home in Canada, and the Queen of England sends her subjects and her former subjects a telegram on their 100th birthday. And she got the telegram, and the son read it to her. She didn't want to hear it, and he said, Mama, it's a telegram for Queen Elizabeth honoring you on your 100th birthday. And she said, that honor the Queen. And you know, in her mind, the Queen was part of the Russian royal family.
Open it. Just a little slide.
Make a wish, Grandma.
Make a wish, Grandma. Your wish. Blow out your candle.
I'm just like you, but I don't have that
Well, they don't allow her to have sharp instruments.